Hi everyone. By the end of this video, you should be able to have a anti-touch device completed, rendered with proper sketches so that you can export this and we're going to have this laser cut for you, okay? Or it's going to be built and made as well too in the workshop. So let's get going. What you're going to learn is really you're going to practice your sketching using things like lines, trimming, offset, extend. Then you're going to extrude it. Then you'll save the sketch in another video as a DXF for laser cutting. Okay, so we have to have, to start off, we have to have our sketches that we've done for this device, including measurements, so you can see the measurements that are also in here. All right. So the first thing to do is to create this sketch. Again, we want to make sure it's on the top view, so that's in between the green and the red, and we're going to start off like this. Okay. The first thing to do is actually, because you've got a limit, you can only do something that's 150 millimeters or 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So to start off, you're in that sketch mode. You're going to create a rectangle, 2-point rectangle, but we want to set our dimensions at 150. Press the tab button and then another 150, and so you see now I've got this square. This is my maximum size. Okay. Remember, if you want to, you can always go in and change that. But for ours, it is the maximum is 150 by 150. So something else that I want you to do while we're here is I want you to make these, because it's construction lines, we're not going to use these lines. I want you to highlight the lines and then turn it to construction lines. So see how now it's these dotted lines. These are just to show this is my limit, this is how far I can go, but it's not actually drawing lines. Okay, so I'm going to do that. That's my base, that's my extents. So I'm going to go in here again, change my sketch name, say base limits, just because that's as far as I can actually draw. Okay, so the next step, this is going to take some time, but it's up to you to this next step is going to be different for everybody. Okay, so the way that this one works is you're going to create a new sketch, and the reason why, I'll show you a little bit later the reason why, but you're going to create a new sketch again in that same position where it's flat on the bottom, and now that we know here's our limits for that first sketch, right? So now I'm going to go in and start drawing my shape. So here's the shape, here's the prototype that I like the most, and I'm going to start drawing. Before I get started, I noticed something, that mainly my shape is made up of 3 main shapes, 2 ellipses and 1 square or 1 rectangle. So the first thing that I want to do is just kind of draw this overall shape. You're going to be able to go in and trim and clean up and cut and make things better, but really it's important to, whatever your shape is, you don't need to draw this correct outline like you would normally draw with pencil, but you can think of the bigger shapes and then start cleaning things up. Okay, so I see those 3 shapes. Over here in this section these are the different tools. You can go in this create, and there's lots of different, you can play around. Really, the best way to get to figure this out is to practice. All right, so maybe something doesn't work, you got to delete it and you got to try again, but it's a lot of trial and error. So for example, I think I want to do that shape, it's a circle. No, I can't quite make the circle. No, that's not what I want to do. So then I'm just going to go in, I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to delete it because that's not what I want. Maybe play around with the spline. No, that's not quite the shape that I want. So again, delete it, select it, delete it. I want to try again. So for this one, I know it's actually ellipse. Okay, and I know because I've got these measurements too, how big it's going to be. So see, it's 13, and then across, if I add those up, it's 6. So I can go in, and now for this particular one, I can do the ellipse. I know it's going to be 6 all the way across. Oh, sorry, the ellipse. Again, see, I'm just deleting. See how I'm making these mistakes already. I'm going to go into the middle. I know it's going to be 6. So I want it to be 6 across, and then all the way up. Actually, I think it looks a little bit different, but I can change it later. 13, or we'll go with 12, 13. Okay, type that one in. But see, it's a little bit too skinny, So maybe I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to delete it, change, try again, and do another one. So ellipse. From the middle, I think it's closer to 8. And then this one is 13. So there's this one. And now I can go in. I click on it. Oh, it's actually, see, it's letting me move a little bit. But I can also select, highlight it. Now I can go in and move this around too. So if I want it to be somewhere else, I can do that. Okay, so that's one. Now I want to do the other one. It's another ellipse. Again, go back and check the sizes. This looks like it's, I think I measured it also. You can get a ruler and just do it by yourself. This is 7.5 by about 5.5. So I can go in. Now I'll do that ellipse again and try to get it close to the middle. This one's 55 by, oh, sorry. There we go, 55. And then this one was 7. Enter, okay. And again, remember I can go and move this around so it's closer to the line, closer to being exact, okay? The next one is that rectangle. And also this one I know is, it's 3 small, but I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go in and add this, do this 3 by 3. And again, I can go in. Now this time it's a little bit trickier, but I still can select the lines. See how there's, and now I can go in and move this around as well too. Okay. There are ways you can snap and things can go in together, but for our purpose, we're doing a little bit more free-handed. Okay, so it's kind of messy, but generally here's my shapes. Okay, so the next step, I'm still in sketch mode. I haven't finished. I'm still in sketch mode. So the next thing, because before I start trimming stuff and cleaning stuff around, I know I want to use this offset to get that distance correct between the outside of the circle and the inside of the circle. So the next one. Now over here are these tools. So this is where it's a trim, this is a fillet, this is offset. There's more types of tools inside here you can use, okay? But for me, I want to offset. So offset, it's gonna allow me to take this line and then pull it in. So now I'm gonna get another line that's the same exact line as the outside, okay? I know that it's 2 centimeters and actually it needs to be -2. So it's on the inside and looks like that, okay? So now I've got these basic shapes, and the next, I've got a square, and then I have these lines. So here's the next couple of things are just me starting to trim up some of these lines so that I can start using this. Okay. So to start off, I'm gonna make that rectangle in the middle because I know that's the shape that I want my the inside of this to be. So I can put that rectangle there, and then the next one, there's also a little bit of a distance. I know that that's 3 by 3. So I want to do another rectangle over here. That's going to be 3 by 3. And see, it's a little bit big. That one's too big. Sorry. Actually, I'll show you another line, another tool we can use. But also, it's not quite in the middle, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. And just selecting and moving things around. Okay. And then the next one, I know that there's this gap here. Here, these lines are going to go inside there. So I can also go in, use the line tool. I know here, this is where that line's going to be. It also can kind of snap so it stays straight. I can draw that line inside there. And you can check as well too, so you can use this inspect tool. Actually, avoid that one. But just so you get an idea, this is how some of it's going to work, okay? Next steps, now I can start trimming things. So I can go in, trim up this line, trim up that line, get rid of this. I don't need that line. See how it's trimming? And it's telling you that with the red what's going to be cut before you start cutting. Then I don't need this line either, so I can delete that line. This is also gone now, so I can get rid of that. Go in over here and see these ones. I can trim this again. So clean up this edge, clean up this one, and then I'm going to select again, click on this, and then I can go in and I can delete that too. So now I've got it cleaned up, and see now my shape looks pretty similar to this shape, even though it's the opposite way, but now it looks similar to this to this shape. All right. So I think I'm pretty satisfied with the way things are going to work. Make sure, see how it's kind of this blue color? This is important because you're going to extrude it. If it's not blue color, then you've got a bit of a problem. Okay, so in here, make sure it's this blue color. See, I know that this is going to be a cutaway, so that's okay that it's not blue in there. And this is just showing the inside of that. So everything here looks good. I'll finish my sketch, go back around to the home, and now I can see this is what I've got. Remember, here's my sketches. Sorry, this is the sketch. I'll delete this one just to make it clear. So here's this sketch, and I want to change this to device outline, just so I know where it is. Then the last step, pretty simple. I'm just going to extrude. Okay, so click on, I don't want that inside. Remember, you can highlight the stuff that you want to extrude or not. It should be one solid piece, not multiple pieces. Now I can extrude it up or down, but I'm going to do it up. And the material that we have is 5 millimeters thick. So I'm going to make sure I type in 5, say okay, and now I've created this new body. All right, I can keep that device outline there. So here's this new body for that device. Last little thing you can do before you move on, there's one other thing. I should have said this at first before we even go on. Save. So now make sure you save. Pay attention to the location. This is an examples product. I'm going to say anti-touch device or wine. Just give it my name so I know where it is. Okay. Last thing that you can do to make it look kind of cool, you go over here to this render section, and inside here there's this color wheel. You click over here. This is an appearance. You can scroll down on this side, and in here you'll see different liquid, metal, plastics, wood, lots of different things. It doesn't really make a difference to what your model is because we're just going to use the lines to laser cut it. But if you want to, you can turn it, click on the wood, you drag it over, drop it, close, and now if I were to, I can turn off my sketches. Now I can see here's my wood piece. I can also change the background by going here and adding this in, saying apply. Okay, now see here's a nice white background. Okay, go back, change it here to design, and then I can stop. That's a little bit of an extra. You don't need to get to that if you don't want to, but that was a bit of an extra. And from here, we're gonna stop. And yeah, so that's taken your sketch and turning it into a physical model. So a lot of it's trial and error. You'll make mistakes, but just be patient, and the idea is to get to something like this, okay? Next video, I'll show you how to export your sketch into a DXF so that we can laser cut it, okay? Thanks, good work, take your time, be patient, and yeah, have fun.